Hello and welcome to another edition of Trailer Gourmet. My name is John Highstreet and today we are going to make zucchini relish. And then we're going to can it. As in we're going to be canning the zucchini relish. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to dice this up into little teeny pieces. And I'm going to also add some red pepper, some yellow pepper, some red onion, some yellow onion, some jalapenos too, and some sweet cherry peppers and some garlic. Throw it all together in a pot, figure out how much it is, and that way I'll be able to figure out exactly how many of these I'm going to fill. And once I figure that out, then I'll be able to figure out how much of the sauce or the vinegar, sugar combination and spices that I'm going to add into it. But first we're going to do this and then we'll get to that. One thing you want to take care and do properly is when you get to parts of the zucchini that have seeds in them, you want to remove the seeds because they're really not a great addition to any relish. So I'm going to cut out a half moon of the seeds here. I'm going to cut those out and then I'll dice away. Most of these are pretty good. They're pretty solid and they don't have any, so I'm not too worried about those. But seeds, no good. We'll get rid of those. Okay, so it looks like, with glasses, it looks closer, but this is about how much we got out of that however many pounds zucchini that was, which gives me a good idea as far as what I'm going to need, as far as like a whole onion or 2 onions. So judging by this amount, I'm going to actually put in a full yellow onion and a full red onion and kind of see how it looks and take it from there. Time to dice some more veggies. What's interesting about jalapenos, if you keep the seeds in, it gives a little more spice, but I'm not really that concerned about it. But we'll dice them up nice and fine. I'm only using 2 for this whole batch, which is not a lot. I don't want to make it too spicy anyway. Let's just add a little bit of kick to it, and that's about it. So, whee! I already cut up the yellow pepper, the red pepper, and the yellow onion, and the red onion. Oh, I drew a blank on that. But now, after I cut these guys up, I'm going to give you a little helpful homemade tip. No, just anyway, something I saw. That after you cut up jalapenos, take a little dab of olive oil, put it on your hand, rub it together. It'll draw out the oils that are in the jalapeno, and then just wash your hands with some regular dishwashing soap and it'll wash away all that hot stuff, so when you go accidentally scratch your eye, it won't burn. Don't ask me how I know that. I'm just telling you. Anyway, we're almost done. I'm going to do the other jalapeno and I'm going to do these cherry peppers, and then we're going to figure out how much we're going to need for our mixture. Okay, so for garlic, I should slide this over. For garlic, what I like to do is usually I'll use the method of stripping them by hand and then getting them so that they're clove ready. Now you can, there's so many different ways of doing this. You can take these things with the paper film on them and put them in a jar, shake them up real good, and they'll just come apart, which is one fun little trick. Or you can just cut through half of it, not half of it, almost all of it, peel it back, flip it over before it's all the way peeled, cut off the butt, same thing, and peel it. And what that gives you is a nice, easy to peel clove. And voila. And that works for all of them. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cheat and just, this is taking forever, and just put the cloves into the little garlic press, squeeze, and voila. I got a little bit left in there, which I'll squeeze and put another clove in, and I'll probably use an entire clove of garlic to do that. Okay, here we go. Let's have fun. Okay, so what we have here is I've made a mixture, and a mixture of spices that I'm going to add to this thingy. What I've got is I've got 2 tablespoons of cumin, 2 tablespoons of coriander, 4 tablespoons of Himalayan pink salt. What is that? Oh, 1 tablespoon of mustard, dry mustard, and 2 teaspoons of turmeric. It's hard to read these without my glasses on, so I hope you enjoyed that. So I just mix that up a little bit, the dries, get it all mixed up in this little ramekin. And then what I like to do is add 1 cup of sugar. And I figured it out to be about 6 or 7, doesn't matter, within that range of Bragg's apple cider vinegar. It's organic, but feel free to use anything you want. Most people, when they're making relishes, will use white vinegar, which is a more innocuous flavor, which is fine. I like this because it gives it a little punch, and I like my relish to have a little. So I just add that into that. So that's about, like I said, I've used 3 of these bottles already, so that was the last one. And then all it is a matter of putting it on the stove. We'll get that heated up. We'll add our sugar. I don't know why my voice is going up every time I say something, so I'll stop doing that. What we're going to do is we're going to bring this to a boil. And once this is to a boil, then we can start our canning process. And I do my canning just a little different from other people, mainly because there are new rules in canning that don't require you to sterilize your cans, your jars I should say, first, as long as you plan on processing, or once you fill them, you put them in the boiling water for at least 10 minutes for the half pint. For a full pint, 10 plus minutes is good. For anything larger than that, 15 minutes is good. I'm going to probably go with 15 minutes just to be on the safe side, and it'll sterilize everything inside the can anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But I am going to bring this to a boil. It'll help melt the sugar, and once that's done, we can start the actual canning process. Now I also want to get my big pot going with some hot water in it and get it ready, so I'm going to fire that up as well. And once we're ready to can, we'll do that in just a minute. Okay, so a couple other points about how to can and make relish and things like that. There are many different ways of doing it, and I've read and seen hundreds of different video tutorials on doing it. And a lot of times they'll say that, you know, you want to put your veggies, soak them overnight or for at least 6 hours in ice cold water and strain them, and that sort of thing. You can do that, and you'll get a different result. My methodology is just I want these as dry as possible so that when I add the liquid to it, it will absorb fully. It's just a difference of opinion. You have a lot of flexibility when you're doing this. Feel free to experiment a little bit. I always do, and have some fun with it. But that is a method, and it's something to keep in mind. If you want to stick to the book, then that is something you might want to consider. This is done boiling. I'm waiting for this to boil, and then I'm going to start. I'm going to fit about six of these guys in the pot at a time, and so I'll probably be here for a while doing this. But we'll go through the first batch, and then we'll say goodbye and all that. I'm using a little pan because I'm going to be messy about this, and so my pan's right next to this so that when I slop stuff in, it's going to go all over the place. So at least it'll be collected in this pan, and I think that's probably a smart idea. That way I'm not cleaning up dripping stuff off the floor. So, all right. Okay, so now we're ready for the final stage, and what's going on now is we're going to get to the trailer gourmet part of this project, which is I need to fill the cans with the relish, and I need to put the sauce in. Sauce? Yeah, all right, sauce in there as well. I got the water boiling over there to sterilize the cans. I've got my liquid reduction here with the sugar and spices. And so what I'm going to do is take this container, which is just a lemonade container that I cut the top off and the bottom off, and I made a little funnel. Yes, you can actually buy that part in a store, but I didn't have one, so hence the trailer part. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some relish, dump it into the container. It actually works pretty well. And whoop, see, too much. We want to leave a little room, so right now I've got a good amount of room. I'm going to take some of the liquid. Can you see this? I don't know. All right. And start to fill our container. And again, I'm going to try to be neat with this, but this is not going to work. And I'm going to leave a little bit on the top, so I have to be... Oh, there we go. Let me show you what we got here. So this leaves us about a 1/4 inch at the top, okay? Beautiful. Now what we're going to do is we're going to set that aside, and we're going to do 6 more, or 5 more, so that's what's going to fit in the boiling water. We're going to dry the tops, put the tops on loosely, and put them into the boiling water. Set it aside, get another one. Last important tip is that you want to make sure that your lids are very dry. So this is very, very, very dry because you want to create a very good seal. So you do that. We're going to put the lid on, crank it tight, and then loosen it just a little bit. And then we're going to put them all in at the same time with boiling water. Alright, that's where this thing is. Now you cannot cheat on this. You have to get one of these. I tried doing it once with the tongs, and no, it just, water goes everywhere. So I'm sorry to say you can't trailer your way out of this. You got to get one of these. All right. So you can put something in the bottom of the pan if you're concerned about the glass breaking, but I have supreme confidence that this is going to work fine. Yep. Alright, there's 6 in there. 15 minutes. Okay. Timer's set. We're going to go 15 minutes and pull them out. Well, okay then. Oh, they're popping as we speak. So I managed to get exactly 12 cans of this size out of that bowl that you saw earlier. So that's a good reference. I ended up using 6 cups of the vinegar, sugar, spice solution instead of the 7 or 8 that I had going. So I had a little extra left over. One extra point would be that it's very important to make sure you really pack it in there as tight as you can. Just push it down as much as you can before you start to fill it. Always leave that 1/4 inch space at the top, but if you have extra fluid in it, it's not a big deal. When you open it, just drain it out a little bit and it'll be great. If you have any questions, just let me know. I'm happy to experiment with you. What the heck? Anyway, this is Trailer Gourmet, and hey, I'll see you on the flip side of the canning process. And until next time, ciao. Whew, there goes another one.